crazy. Hey, but that's how it goes.
I need to go to a happier place.
I feel romantic.
Shut up, Ozzy!
Just go to bed, darling.
All right, change the subject.
All right, guys. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Right on.
Good.
What'd you think about the convention?
Hard work.
Yeah? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Show everyone your cup. Yes.
Who gave you that? Where'd that cup come from?
That came from the convention.
Oh, someone made
One
that
of
for you?
Daddy's fans gave him that.
So for listeners, we did the famous Monsters horror convention in at the King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia. It was like we did like a signing event. So I finally coerced everyone into it. And how was it? Did we like it? Do you hate me?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it was good for you, Ozzy, because you got to see your fans after so many years. After 5 years, you actually got to see some fans, and they were so happy that you came out.
I've done them in stores.
When Dad did the album releases.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
you did. You did them on...
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But it was just, I think, nice for Dad to feel a connection to his fans again. And the best part of it for me was meeting everyone and hearing everyone's stories and having them say such like nice complimentary things that you don't often believe about yourself.
And you don't ever hear. You might get a message on Twitter or you might get something, but you don't it's different. When you hear someone coming up to you being like, hey, this really obscure thing that you think no one ever saw is like, hey, I loved that thing you did, or when you did this, it made me feel really it's just nice.
So many people said to me when I wish that I would have had this sort of reaction prior, because I thought I was literally like just a piece. I didn't like myself at all. I thought I was the most uncool human ever. And to have all these people tell me that when they were younger, they wished they were me. If I had have known that, I probably wouldn't have been as insecure as I was.
Yeah.
No, it's so nice to hear. And the thing that I picked up from it big time was how people miss laughing. And so many of the fans came to us and say, oh, we love the podcast because we can have a right old giggle. And nobody seems to laugh anymore.
No.
Everything is so serious that you turn on, and so much dark stuff going on.
That's why the comedy podcasts do so fucking well.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to laugh. And
They want to laugh.
They want to turn off the doom and gloom.
They want to be silly. They don't necessarily want to be so politically correct. You just want to be silly.
Yeah. I always enjoy the kind of the random conversations you'll end up getting into with someone. You just you meet some person and, there's a lot of people who are like shaking and nervous. And I'm always just like, I always feel like, I'm like, why are you fucking nervous to meet me? I'm an idiot. Like, what? And then, then there's the folks that you can kind of strike up an interesting conversation with. And yeah, it was, I enjoyed it.
I was really touched by the letters I received and the gifts. Like, Mom, somebody brought me a Givenchy bracelet.
I got a very nice bracelet too.
I know.
From the same gentleman.
Yes.
It was quite beautiful.
When he walked in, everyone went, oh, he's here for you.
Well, no, because he'd done himself up and he looked very,
fabulous,
very fashionista.
He had this incredible purple
yes,
coat on.
The purple coat guy. But you know what's crazy? So we had people, so we did the convention the Saturday we did, and then the following weekend I went and did another one down in Virginia. No, not Virginia, in Kentucky. And a bunch of people that were at the convention we were at came to the one I was at.
No.
Because they're in like the horror convention circuit. So a lot of people will jump around, keep going to horror convention after, that's the ones that I'm usually at. And they came over and like had the pictures that they...
Hi, how's the fan?
Yeah,
right?
and everyone was just like, oh, I was there last week, and they had their picture, and they had me like sign it. They had me sign it and stuff. So yeah, it was... It was. I thought it was nice. It was fun. I like doing them.
Dad, you not talking to us?
No, I'm just tired today, Boo.
I know.
Dad woke up so early this morning. It woke me up. So, and did you hear that baby was awake as well?
No.
At 4 a.m. this
Try
morning.
to be quiet.
No, me and Dad have been up since 4,
Oh, I
4:30.
never heard you. Last night I went to bed early and Ozzy kept saying, "Oh, come up, don't worry." And he was doing his artwork. Don't know what time you got in. And then when I woke up, you were gone.
He's, burning the midnight oil. What artwork are you working on right now? Anything new?
No, just same old.
Just the doodles.
Mm.
Didn't we? How many does he have? Thousands.
Of finished work. Oh, this was last year that we catalogued them, but last year it was
It's not
2,000.
artwork,
So it's more than that now.
Dad, you should see what people buy for artwork, and trust me, your stuff is artwork. There
Yeah.
are people that smear their ass on a canvas, and they're like, "It is art. It is
Or
life
tape a
reborn."
banana to a wall.
Yeah. Did you ever see the fucking banana on the wall?
I've heard of it, banana on the moon.
It's fucking a banana that they duct taped onto a canvas, and it came with an instruction manual, and it sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But that's taking the piss.
No, because they said the artwork, it's actually kind of genius.
No, I thought it was genius.
Because the artwork wasn't the banana to the wall. The artwork was the explanation in the manual. So you're buying the manual to tell you because the banana will go old. So the manual explains how to replace the banana regularly. And that's what they're paying for is the instruction manual.
Still a wind up.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's great.
What's the weirdest artwork you guys have ever seen?
I remember the weirdest one I've seen. Was it at Elton's, the dog poo?
The other
With
thing that
this-
Ellen's got with the flies is he's got a tank with just thousands and thousands of dead flies.
Is that like a Damien Hirst thing?
It's got
I
to be.
don't know who's it by. Oh, I think the
dog
funniest,
poo with
funniest
the,
one was
sprinkles.
Tracy Emin.
I've seen
And
that.
Tracy Emin, and I can't remember what she wrote around it, but it was just on a plain bit of paper like this, lined. And she'd cut off some of her pubes and stuck it on a piece of paper and wrote something, but it was no more than 4 words. And that's the strangest artwork I've ever seen. Framed, of course.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've seen some fucking weird stuff.
I'm not into the whole painting with period blood and
Puking up the colors. That.
see that I like her. She's a friend of mine.
But you like her because you know her. I
Who?
would never. Would you buy one of her pieces?
I don't
she's
know
your
if I
friend.
could.
Who?
There's that artist that
Millie Brown.
who drinks the colored.
Millie Bobby Brown and
Wait, Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Brown is her name, and they're both named Millie
Yeah.
Brown, and they're both English, but
One pukes and
one's an actress.
Yeah. But yeah, she pukes up. She drinks colored
All
liquid,
different things.
and then
yeah.
pukes it up its color, and
Yeah.
that's her paint. So she just pukes on canvases or tops. It's like performance art, really.
Nah, I don't like that.
I think it's cool.
No, not into that at all. It's going to do terrible stuff to her inside. She'd be like,
Yeah, I
Flag.
don't know. There's not much longevity in that.
No,
in that.
there
I don't know.
isn't.
But what if she tried?
It would stink.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be. Oh,
full of
God.
acid from the
Yeah.
tummy. Ugh.
It's,
No.
it's one way to Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. I did see something online yesterday, and it was some art show in New York where a guy. It was like a performance art thing, and a guy was naked on his back with his legs up, knees up by his shoulders, so his ass was in the air, and he had a candle stuck in his ass, and he was holding onto these poles.
As
and
a candlestick.
Yeah, and people were just dragging him around this, and everyone's just sat there going, "Oh yes, this is some fantastic."
What is it really
art."
saying? What is
Yeah,
the
what is
message?
this? We're
But
all
that's taking it to a ridiculous level. You
we're
know?
all flaming assholes.
That's not art.
It's something, but I guess that's the whole thing. It's like art is, if you say it's art, it's art.
Yeah.
But it took about 5 seconds to do that.
I guess it just depends on how
It's
loose his
just-
ass
yeah.
was.
If you're buying something like that, it's a sign that you got too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they had, I can't remember the artist that did it, where they cut the cow in half.
Yeah.
And they...
Taxidermy,
Oh,
whatever.
German guy.
They did it with a shark too.
Yeah.
He's
the shark's
got a
cool.
gallery somewhere in Nuremberg or somewhere.
Yeah, didn't like that either.
I went to see the Bodies in Vegas, the Bodies exhibition, how they have everything from the human body like preserved, and it was an artist that did it.
Yeah.
And it's really weird.
When you see the muscle.
Yeah.
What's the most interesting part of the body?
I think what I found most amazing is that they had an entire human nervous system removed from the body, so they had all the nerves.
How can they do that?
They inject some kind of like liquid
Dye.
plastic, or it's like a dye, and then the plastic kind of preserves it. Hey everyone, it's Jack Osbourne. Our sponsor is Fume. Now, I like Fume. Let's talk about it a little bit. Bad habits suck the big one. We all have them, and maybe you've tried to break them. But breaking bad habits can be made really difficult. And that's where Fume comes in. See this thing right here? There's a better and faster and easier way to do it. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic change, why not just change the bad in the bad habit? Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that is just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume just uses delicious flavored air. I sit at my desk at work. Sometimes I get a little anxious. Sometimes I get a little fidgety. Fume fills all those voids in me. You know what I'm saying? I can sit there. I got a little fidget spinny. I can taste the goodness, and it kind of has been helping with those bad habits. I've been super stressed out. I've had a lot of stuff going on between work, home, kids, holidays, you name it. When I get stressed, I start jonesing for dirty habits, and Fume has definitely been helping. Stopping is something we put off because it is hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, fun, and tasty. Fume has served over 150,000 customers and has thousands of success stories. I'm one of them. And there's no reason you can't be one. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use the code Osbournes to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use the promo code Osbournes to save an additional 10% off your order. Get Fumey. All right, so we wanted to we've been getting a lot of questions coming in from the podcast. You know, as the weeks are rolling on, a lot of comments, things like that. People had a lot of questions about like celebrity stuff. Yeah. Like, what is your like celebrity, like your lifestyle? Like, oh, I have to have, I have to have this water when I work, or I have to travel like this, or like, what is your like ritzy celebrity thing?
Well, your dad's is always so basic. You remember like the stuff you used to have on your rider in your dressing room was so minimalistic. So minimalistic. It was, just
a fruit bowl, meat,
cottage
cheeses,
water.
Gatorade.
In the Sabbath days, we never realised. I never realised that we were paying for it.
Yeah.
So we'd have like banquets backstage.
Be like, let's have
we always ended up having a food fight most of it.
Yeah, it's just, what do we ever have? Cheese plate, fruit plate, some tea, lemons, water, nothing.
And a baked potato after the show.
Yeah. I mean, we're just so basic. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It depends what country I'm in. But I think my most extravagant request is always the cookies.
The cookies, as we see right here.
We can't, but am I allowed to say what brand?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's in England, it has to be a Jammy Dodger. Has to be.
Yeah.
If we're in America, it has to be a Pepperidge Farm Mint Milano. And people know that that's the way to my heart, and it's going to be my birthday, so that is my birthday present, which I'm very happy about.
And Kelly is not the cookie monster, she's the cookie queen.
Yeah. I'm only the cookie monster when I wake up in the morning and one of them is like stuck to my face.
God, can you imagine if you got it caught in your creases in your neck?
Oh, Mom,
I've
done that.
Do you remember Do you remember when you used to smoke Rolly cigarettes in bed?
Yeah.
Do you remember when the bag fell open in bed of rolling tobacco and the whole clump of it was stuck to Mum's ass?
Oh, yeah.
God, Jack. It's terrible.
You had a whole, like...
So I
My ass
peeled it
smelled
off
like
and put it
old
back in the
Hoban.
bag. Rolled the cigarette.
Nothing like some Virginia gold.
Oh, God.
Do you remember just how much Dad used to smoke?
Yeah. Do you ever think about that, how much you used to smoke?
Sometimes I miss it.
Yeah.
It's the habitual side of it, I can imagine.
There is like a stress relieving component to smoking where you're just like, like you can kind of just turn things down a little bit.
Because it makes you breathe deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it slows your breathing down. Yeah, that's exactly it. You kind of take a breath with it. But what are your must-haves are cookies. What are your must-haves when you go do, like when you were doing your show, what was like your everyday, like, okay, I must have this on set?
Absolutely nothing.
Some
No.
days you'd have porridge.
Oatmeal?
A bit of oatmeal, water, or a cup of tea. That would be it.
And
Nothing.
And your copy of Mein Kampf because you're such a racist.
Oh my God, Jack.
God.
Can't forget that, you know, you're just, as
Oh
you're getting
my
hair and makeup
God.
on, just flipping through.
Yeah. Easy reading. No, I've never been one of those people, you know, that, or even when I go to a hotel, I don't send,
Yeah.
you know, a rider beforehand that I want this type of pillow and this type of towel and...
I mean, now that I have a baby, I have a different rider
Yeah.
because it's just stuff for him.
Trying to think. I think the most extravagant thing I ever did was when I was getting really fucked up. I was asked to like host a party, and they were like, "Oh, we want you to like." It was for Sims. Remember the video game Sims? It was like Sims 2 or something. It was coming out, and they asked me to like be the host of this party, and it was like they rented this like crazy big house in the hills, and I think I requested just huge amounts of drugs.
Oh my God,
And
Jack.
and like I was like I want a room that's just full of like pills and weed and like hookah pipes, and they did it.
Shut up.
I swear to God. And
Where'd they get the pills from?
I don't know.
It sounds like Wayne's World.
It was literally. I was
Wayne's
like,
World.
I just was
That
like,
was a good party.
yeah, it was fucking great. And I just remember like I was
always scared to push it. I'd never ask for something like that.
I just didn't give a shit at that point. I'm 17 years old. And
Yeah.
and I was like, this is fucking nuts. Who would do that for if a 17-year-old kid came up to me and was like, I would like this drug and that drug, I'd be like, get fucked, where are your parents taking you home?
It was a different time, Jack.
It totally was. I mean, the shit that, like, you know, you see these, like, TikTokers and YouTubers who are, like, massively famous and they're young, whatever. I'm like, wow. Like, it's
It's so different.
so different. What is your favorite thing or has been your favorite thing about being famous?
Well, I can buy a thing. I can buy things. Whereas before it was a bit of a scrape.
I think it's the experiences.
And you see more people, interesting people.
What's been, like, your one favorite, like, what about you? What's your favorite thing about being famous?
Generally, how nice people are when they come up to you. I mean, I don't think I've ever had anyone come up to me, other than people I work with, and go, you know, they go up, how's the family, how the kids doing, and Ozzy and things like that. And it's just really nice. And even the paps don't bother me, because the paps are something that so many celebrities want, and celebrities end up controlling the paps because they'll tell them where they are. They want their pictures taken. They strut out to get their pictures taken, and then, of course, they roll their eyes. Oh, you know, the paps, or they'll give them the finger, and, you know, but they're basically controlling them.
Yeah.
A lot, not everyone, but there are a lot. And I have always said this: if you want a private life from the paps,
You can.
you can have it.
I know
You
where to go
absolutely
and where
can.
not to go if you don't want to be.
And unless, listen, there are times like, there's Paps parked outside of our house, and the only place your dad ever goes to is the doctor. And they always get him going in and out of the doctors. And then you go, you're taking it too far. Now it's too far.
Yeah. Well, because but don't you find that, and I found this, that since Instagram, it's kind of killed the paparazzi game.
Yeah.
Because I remember 2000, like when I had Pearl and I got diagnosed with MS all within that window, and then
and your what did you have?
Oh, the appendix.
Oh, tic-tac-toe. Yeah.
I was just getting followed, and there'd be like 4 or 5 cars following me everywhere, like trying to get pictures of Pearl. Like it was nuts. And then Instagram came around, and I could post a picture of me with Pearl better than any photo a pap could ever take of us.
Yeah.
And it just kind of it was like water to a flame. It just killed it.
I don't like being followed when I'm in my car, especially being a woman on my own with my baby.
Do you remember the first time you got followed by paps?
I do remember the first time I got followed by paps. I had no idea what was happening, and I just thought some man was following me, and because I couldn't see his camera, I had no idea what he was doing, and I was at Amoeba Music, and I called Big Dave to come and help me because I didn't understand what was going on.
In your PT Cruiser?
Yeah. My black PT Cruiser.
With the flames.
My pink flames, because I thought I was so cool.
Yeah. I remember that. That was even before
What happened to the car?
Mum made me get rid of it because there was an article that came out that said that when those cars crashed, the fuel injectors exploded. So it was replaced.
They're like collectibles now.
Are they?
Yeah.
What happened to that one? Remember you had a 190, a Mercedes?
Oh, great.
Mercedes 190.
Oh, it was the
Cosworth.
Cosworth, yeah. Brilliant car. Should never have got rid of it.
I told you.
Did you see how much
don't see them
the
about
Bronco
anymore.
I was looking at is actually going for?
Like
Guess.
160.
Okay, you guess.
2.
What?
For a 1960s Bronco that's been completely redone.
All right, if it's completely redone, in the 3s.
Okay.
What?
It's over $275,000.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
My FJ, my old Toyota truck that I have. There's a company near my place that will redo it, and they did one, and they sold it for $360,000.
It's so crazy.
No, doesn't your friend redo Broncos though?
My very good friend redoes. So if you do want one, Kelly, buy it. He'll do all the work.
I just have to
for
find
you.
the shape I want.
Yeah,
The frame, and then.
But even if you want to find an old one, you say, "Hey, go find me this," and he'll do everything, and he'll just do it. He won't. He's not gonna up. He'll just do it for the time and his costs.
But they're just like this Bronco dealership that's oddly enough, out of Atlanta.
There's so many classic car collectors out of there.
And it's lavender, and it's so beautiful, and it's so perfect. And I was like, let's see how much it is.
Oh, yeah, maybe us.
Yeah, I was saying about the 190.
Oh, Daddy said to buy it for me. No.
What
Daddy
were you
said
saying?
if you really loved me.
You don't see them 190
I never see a 190 anymore.
anywhere.
Ever.
I could get you one. I could find you one.
Is this a dirty
no,
joke?
No. Look, if you really wanted a 190, you could. They come up on auction every now and then. Because yours was a two-door.
Cosworth 190.
Huh?
190 Cosworth.
Yeah.
Cosworth engine.
Yeah. I don't know if you could get the Cosworth over here.
Yeah.
I think it might have just been a European thing, but you could get them imported. If you really wanted one, you can find them. There's all these auction sites and stuff where collectible cars go up and yeah. Hey everyone, it's Jack Osbourne.
And Kelly Osbourne.
And the Osbournes Podcast is sponsored by Cozy Earth.
I'm so excited just to say that they are sponsoring our podcast.
I have been wanting this day to happen since the moment we brought the podcast back. All right, let's get down to business. The holidays are right around the corner, and one of the most stressful things is finding the perfect gift for your loved ones. But look no further, because we have the answer. Let's talk Cozy Earth. Now, Cozy Earth is life-changing luxury bedding, and I'm not just making that up. These sheets are the best. My entire house is Cozy Earth. My girls have Cozy Earth sheets. My wife and I have Cozy Earth sheets. I've been actually using this brand for 6 years now.
And what I love the most about them is that they are temperature controlled. You can temperature regulate. You don't get sweaty. And my entire house has also been Cozy Earth for probably 2 years now.
Yeah, I got the family onto it.
Yeah. It's the only bedding that I will use, and it's my favorite. It's like my absolute favorite one is their best-selling bamboo sheets. They're made with viscose that just gets softer and softer every time that you wash them. And whenever I get in my bed, I'm just like making angels, and it's so comfortable. I love them so much. Cozy Earth prides themselves on ethical production of all their products. I really cannot say enough good things about them.
You know what we call them at home?
What?
We call them the mashed potato sheets because you feel like you're sleeping in like soft mashed potatoes.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
The best part, Cozy Earth sheets can be returned or exchanged within 100 days and includes an additional 10-year warranty, but you won't be returning them.
So who's getting a gift of Cozy Earth from the Osbournes this holiday season?
I'm going to get some for my in-laws.
Oh my God, without question. We said that we were going to get, Sid and I said we were going to get Teresa all new sheets for her new house.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting Cozy Earth for sure.
I can think of gifting someone sheets sometimes feels like a weird thing.
Oh my God, it's the best gift ever.
But whenever I get them, I'm like, oh my God.
Because you never buy them for yourself. They get old and gross and have holes in them. And
all right, Osbournes listeners, here's our gift to you this holiday season. Go to cozyearth.com/Osbournes and enter code Osbournes at checkout and save 40% on bedding. That's cozyearth.com/Osbournes.
40% is a big deal.
It's like I'm actually going to go use that code
I know.
myself. What has been your worst paparazzi experience?
We didn't say worst. I got a fucking list of that.
I just don't. Do you know what?
I remember,
They don't
remember,
bother
when
me.
remember when we went down to Malibu that time, and we went into that shop, and we came out, and there was about 50 of them outside.
Yeah, but they don't. Honestly, really, I don't get offended by it. I don't anything. It just doesn't bother me.
Just don't follow me in a
Well,
car.
It's a bit of a nudge when you're trying to do some shopping.
I just think it's dangerous to other people and the way that they drive so
I mean,
crazy.
they can't come in the shop, but you go out and it's like, what?
The worst is when I've had people follow me into shops when they had like the old school video cameras, like the DV cameras, and they would like try and sneakily film you in a shop with like an old video.
We were in a supermarket one day, and the guy couldn't come in, so he sent his little 11-year-old daughter in, follow us around with a camera.
It's a bit shit.
Yeah, I remember last Christmas, the Paps followed you to school, and we were all there with the babies.
Oh yeah,
and you lost it.
I fucking lost it. Yeah,
They shouldn't follow you to where your children go to school.
I mean, there comes a point where you gotta say, this is not cool.
I bring it up. Paparazzis need to be licensed.
Yeah.
And they have to follow guidelines. They need to have a number on, so if they step out of line, you can take a picture. You know who it is. There are guidelines. And two, do you know what needs to be
regulated?
Licensed? Yeah,
What?
drones.
Drones. Well, drones are regulated now. Yeah, massively. There's massive, like you have to go to an FAA school. If you are using a drone, even just as like if I buy one, you have to apply for a license online. If you're using a drone.
You do have to have one now.
Yes, you do.
Okay,
and you have to
good.
register the drone with the FAA. So they all have serial numbers
Right.
now. And it's just like an online thing you can do. If
But
you're using
how can
it.
they register serial number when it's up in the air?
Well, it's if it crashes, if it's involved in an accident, something
I
like
mean,
that.
they were flying them next to airplanes.
Yeah, and that's why it happened because there's some
the
nearly
airport.
hit airports. The slippery slope though is with if you say to paparazzi because they fall under being news, so it's protected by the First Amendment. And so this slippery slope is that if you go, oh, there has to be regulated, they have to be licensed, that then applies to the news. And so now the government can be like, oh, we're not going to give this news person a license because we don't like what they say. And that's when it gets...
But the thing is, they should be licensed so that they can only tell the truth, not their version. Because depending on what news you're watching, they give their own version, never the straight facts.
No. What's the and you know what I find it always interesting about anything I see in the news, and I always have to observe it through my own lens of think about when you read something written about us or an interview that we've done and how it's always a little off.
Yeah.
It's never even when you've sat with a journalist and done, an actual sit down interview, it's always like at best it'll be 10 to 15% off. And so I always think
what do you mean when you say
like because it's through their eyes, it's not through yours.
In their interpretation and their
of
interpretation.
if you get an interview?
Yeah.
just anything that you read about yourself, it's always a little
Oh, and they're
bit.
supposed to go and like ask you, what did you feel? When you answer the question? They don't alter the answer, surely.
And there's some of them don't answer the question, but then they will turn around and add something like, he looked very nervous as he was giving his answer.
Yeah. Or,
I've never experienced that.
Well, I mean, just think about right now. I know it's a shit tabloid rag, but what you just read about yourself in whatever magazine you were just reading upstairs, and it was a picture of you and mum.
Yeah.
And like, it was...
But that wasn't an interview. They got that information off this.
Off the pod, they'd taken quotes from the podcast and then created this
That's not an interview.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I was using the example of the media, interview or not, it's always a little off, whatever they write about us. So, and I always have to apply that lens to any news story I ever read.
But they can't put blatant lies.
They in
do.
America, they can.
They can, Dad.
They can literally, there's complete freedom of the press
So,
here.
so if you get an interview and they say, did you say such about something?
They can't misquote you, but they can lie based on their own perspective. So they can go, Ozzy Osbourne seemed like a homicidal maniac to me, and I feared for my life. So the journalist can write that because that's his perspective. It doesn't
But I
mean
was
it's
surprised when I met him.
yeah, and they can.
He was.
So it is, it's a slippery slope. England's different because it's a lot. The
And
media.
surely, it's another thing about kids. You can't. You can't.
If there hasn't been pictures of that child printed, you can't be the first. The press can't be the first to print a picture of a child.
If they're private. In England, there's private citizen laws. In America, it doesn't apply. So you can post a picture of a celebrity's child on an American newspaper, but in a British newspaper, you can't. But in the British newspaper, they're supposed to be a bit more... The standards are supposed to be a bit more regulated because there isn't complete freedom of the press like there is in America.
The headline is just like, dun, dun, dun. You read the article and you go, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. And because they know people are only ever going to read the headlines.
Like, here, it always amazes me still when they write a story and it can be nothing. Somebody's out shopping at bloody whatever supermarket and so-and-so wore no bra as she was out shopping. It's like, why do you always have to talk about the way somebody's body is? Or see-through shorts. But it's always that way. But they never say it about men. His muscles were bulging as he held his basket.
And his testicles was angry.
Right? His testicles were leaning on the handle.
He clearly wears tight briefs.
Yes.
Is that a song I see?
Have you ever done a Rockstar move and try to punch a paparazzi?
No.
No?
That's not violent like that. That's not where...
Yeah.
The thing is, if you, what was that guy in England?
Jamiroquai.
What he pulled?
Wait, what did you call him?
Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai.
I can't remember his fucking name. He pulls up in a Rolls Royce, and he's in some premiere in London. And somebody bumped the side of his Rolls. He gets out of his Rolls and the guy, all right, what are you fucking doing? And he walks forward, gets him by the collar, headbutts him in his smacks his head in his face. And he gets back in his car and I'm like,
Yeah. I had a couple times paparazzis try to instigate me to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
I've had that.
I remember you were going around Farmer's Market one day.
Yeah.
And they were trying to taunt you.
Yeah. Oh, you think you're tough? You want to fight us? You want to fight us? Because they were like crowding around me and Pearl. I had Pearl, you know, she was little at the time, and they were really being kind of not cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, come on, like, just fuck off. Like, why you don't need to be this close. Go stand over there. And yeah, they would just, and a lot of them, what they'll do is, what I found was that back then, a lot of guys would come into town. So they would be from either Europe or South America, and they would come in for a few months, cause all sorts of problems, get reactions, and then they would fuck off, and you'd never know who these people were. So, and I actually I have a video of this guy being like, "Oh, you think you're a tough guy? You want to fight me? Let's go. I'll fight you right now." You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's somebody else. I go and say to a kid, "Go and ask this question."
Yeah.
I think the worst is when there used to be this trend in London where they would have two guys and one guy would stop you so they could get a picture up your skirt.
Yeah, the old upskirt.
And then, or it would be that they'd physically trip you so you fell.
Yeah.
But I also never did myself any favors because I was always fucking shit-faced around them.
Yeah.
And there's like awful pictures of me like leaning up against the brick wall.
I saw a picture of
twatted.
you and fucking, what's her name? Kate.
I think it was from the NME Awards.
And you were holding onto her back and she was falling. You weren't going to the car. You were falling into the car.
Sounds about right.
Literally like two fucking pirates.
Yeah.
Arr, arr.
Remember when that fucking shitty British TV host came and threw water on you?
Yeah, it was Channel 4. And do you know who they did it to? Me and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And they were trying to shock people.
Yeah, it was this. It was. Yeah, they were like a.
So they threw water on Mum.
It was a shock.
when you
No,
do
but
it-
let me explain to you. There was they would go to openings, or opening of a
Red carpet.
movie, red carpet events. And I was seeing somebody for a meeting, and it was above this cinema in Portobello where they were having a red carpet event. But I was just going in there for a meeting. So I crossed the red carpet, and this woman said to me, "What do you think about the film you're going to see?" And I went, "No, I'm not. I'm trying to get in there." She goes, "Oh, really?" Whoosh.
I would have gone.
I remember
And
on
I
that one
had,
red carpet.
listen,
Insane.
hold on. I had a light pink leather jacket that had cost me and I thought I was the bee's knees wearing this. It was summer. It was the most beautiful jacket. And it was very, very thin leather. And it had watermarks all over it. So I called up Channel 4, spoke to the guy that ran Channel 4 at the time. And he said, "So you didn't think it was funny?" I said, "No, I was on my way to a business meeting, actually. I wasn't even there to watch the movie." And he was laughing. And I said, "When you going round to your mum's again?" And he goes, "Sunday. Why?" I said, "Can I come in and throw a glass of water at her? Would you laugh then?"
And what did he say?
I did a red carpet, and then this chick comes to me, and she's got a dildo.
That was the same woman that threw. That was the same woman
Yeah.
that threw water on Mum, and I know her. I
She
knew.
goes
I
to us,
knew
she goes,
her.
I chased her in the street.
Yeah, you threw a bucket of water at her.
I went for her. After it happened, I thought, you're not going to get away with it. I was legging it through Pimlico, and then where all the stands are in the street. They sell fruit and flowers and all of this. And I legged it, and there was a guy selling flowers. I said, "I'll be back." I took his bucket with flowers in, threw the flowers out, and whoosh, I got her.
Yeah,
Good.
she was a fucking one of these like 2-bit like hustler trying to make her
A
fucking name.
Well, she did it the
Brave,
next
none the
day.
least.
The next day, she
Yeah,
did it to
sorry.
Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise grabbed hold of her hand like this, and he just said, "Could you explain to me, why did you just do that to me?" And she was trying to get away from him, and he said, "No, tell me, why did you just do that to me? What is the point of it?"
Yeah.
And she said nothing.
Yeah. So what was it? That journalist, you were on a red carpet and she had a dildo. She had a microphone inside of a dildo.
Come down and all the press were on her. She was amongst all the press. She had a dildo. And she was like, I know. I just didn't pay her any attention.
Because she was holding it up to your mouth?
No, they all had mics and she was, she was, I was moving along. She moved along.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, when I'm turning around the corner, she goes, I think just hold on.
I remember this. It was at the GQ. It was like a GQ award thing.
So, and she goes, do you see what I'm holding in my hand? I said, yeah. What do you think? No, nothing. She was like, oh.
Just completely let down by it.
Fuck it. If I can get that fucking thing away from her, I just...
Yeah, you didn't give her what she wanted.
Yeah.
If you don't react, the fucking joke's on her.
Yeah.
I just think it's so distasteful.
I mean, when you react to something...
Woman to woman.
That's what they want to wind you up about, you're the weak one because you let it get to you.
How do you know that I chased her with
Because
the bucket?
I remember seeing there was pat pictures of you throwing water at her. So, yeah, so layered. Did they ever end up using the clip on that show? Because I know you tried to get them to not use it.
They didn't use it, and they sent me a check around the next day to replace my jacket.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good.
How much was that?
$6,000.
Fuck, you know.
Oh.
But
That was $6,000, what, 2005? So that's fucking a lot of money back then.
I've got a few jackets. So
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, I spilt a drink on my coat.
Yeah, he did. But he didn't. I think because of the way I put it, I said, can I come and throw it on your mother and see if you laugh?
Yeah.
And I think that's what did it. Penny finally
But
dropped.
it's a bit of a cheap shot when somebody wants to see your reaction. Because that's all they're doing for.
Yeah.
To see.
Oh, I remember this. Ryan Seacrest was at an Oscar event. He was doing the red carpet, doing interviews for the Oscars, and some actor, I can't even remember who it was, came with flour.
And threw it at him.
Yeah.
It was Sacha Baron Cohen dressed as the dictator that threw the ashes on Ryan Seacrest.
Oh.
It was supposed to be ashes.
But it was flour.
Yeah.
Poor Ryan was like, what the fuck?
I know, but it is Sacha Baron Cohen, so you're probably like, all right, I'll just go with it.
He is funny.
He's fucking hilarious. He was a really nice guy when I met him.
Whatever happened to that guy, a million, you look hey, Joan, you look like $1 million later.
Oh, I don't know what happened
He was
to him.
fucking great.
Yeah. He was.
When John Collins
He
was
had the big phone and he would sit.
Timmy Mallet.
No.
Timmy
No,
Mallet.
it was,
Don Joly.
Dom Joly.
No,
He
it
was
wasn't
funny.
Dom Joly.
It
was not Dom Joly. It was
I think it was old. It was before Dom Joly,
it was
right?
before Dom Joly.
Yeah.
Dom Joly picked up where he left.
I thought Dom Joly was so funny.
Me too.
When he would have people would walk down like an empty street, and then all of a sudden, like 1,000 people would come out of alleyways, like dressed as characters, chasing him.
Get one of them silly little devil outfit with a plastic three-prong floor, and he rings the doorbell. He goes, I've got an invite to a black mask. The guy goes, what?
Dom Joly's a British comedian who had like a prank show in England for a time. He was very funny, but he was like good family humor. It wasn't nasty. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was
nasty.
like a show you could watch with your kids, and it was funny for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you remember the size cell phone he had?
Yeah. You would have no it's shit. Then when he'd be in a movie and he'd like pick it up, he'd be like, "No, I'm in a movie. It's shit." The phone was like the size of this desk. It's funny.
I'm trying to think of that guy's name.
Oh, the one that used to talk about he said to Bill Wyman's wife, "What's it like being married to an old rocker?"
No. Yeah, so you're into antiques.
Oh.
That's right.
She goes, what do you mean? Well, you married an old rocker.
It's just mean.
It is.
What has been what has been the meanest thing anyone has ever said to you, like fan or paparazzi or anything like that?
I mean, I've been called everything, but I think probably
What's stuck with you? What's been the thing that just
There's this
lingers?
one time that it stuck with me because this guy thought he was complimenting me, and he was a pap, and I was outside of 14 karat gold, and he goes, "I just want you to know that like everyone thinks I'm crazy," and I was like, "Why?" And he said, "Well, because I think you're hot," and I was like, "That's not a fucking compliment." Like that is not a compliment at all.
What, you're hot?
That people think he's crazy because he finds me attractive. I'm like, that's a backhanded compliment. And I was really confused as to why this man came up and told me this.
Mind fuck.
And I
like,
just
wait,
was like, wait,
Thank
what?
you?
Like, thank you, I guess.
Yeah.
But don't you think, I have this thing of when people say things about you, you think, well, does that have any truth to it? Do I? Am I? And sometimes you think, well, I am a bit, yeah. That's
But
Oh,
okay.
sometimes people just want to be mean.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, if you don't respect that person,
But the
it
thing
doesn't
is,
mean anything.
it's when you react. If it doesn't mean anything, if you react, they've won.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if somebody who you really respected in the industry wrote something about you, it would hurt you,
Oh, you
right?
oh, look at Tony. I remember that time when that guy's. Well, when I went to Leicester to interview him, and he said something derogatory. Tony never forgot that. And 3 years later, he had.
Yeah, he was doing an interview with this guy. I think it was NME, and the guy wrote something very, very like cheeky about him. Not
No.
cheeky, funny.
No,
it was
no,
really
fucking
taking the piss.
really
And
taking
Tony saw him at a gig. And
No, in Glasgow, he came 3 years later. He fucking beat the shit out of him. Tony.
He did.
he did.
Was this like back in the 70s?
Yeah.
He beat the fucking crap out of him. He said, what are you doing? He said, Tony walks in and says, you all right, man? He goes, yeah. He said, you won't be in about fucking 3 minutes. Whack.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing. I do find that kind of interesting how that people that write stuff, either comments online or journalists that write things.
Oh, I remember. I'll tell you what. Do you remember in the Japanese tour when Jakey Lee was on it, and the guy who flew out from England to do a piece on Jakey Lee, and because it was my band, I was trying to, you're on a drink, if you need anything, just let me know, whatever. So the fucking article I said, I went to interview Jakey Lee, and then the big shot came up to me. I said, what the fuck, dude? He said, he said to me, what did I do to fucking deserve that?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I was trying to make a name for myself.
Yeah. But like, I find it like that people think that they shouldn't be held accountable for the words that they write. You know, so it's like, oh, I can write whatever I want, say whatever I want.
In my game, when they say something bad about you, about 1,000 fans will write back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but too, the thing is, it's down to the how many times have you met somebody that you don't like, and you can
Daily.
turn around and they many times a journalist won't like you, and they'll basically say it in words.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing. But that comes with everything that you do when you're an artist.
Well, why did I put someone? I mean, that's wrong because a journalist should be in the middle. In the middle, if you don't like you, so
They're still human beings,
Yeah,
Ozzy.
they're still
human
human.
beings.
And
But
you know what?
so
You're
they
not for
go-
everyone. I'm not for everyone. It must be a pain in the ass when your boss comes to you and is like, you have to write an article about so and so, and
Yeah,
you
but
don't.
I'm not saying you got to get someone who likes you, but you have to have someone who's unbiased.
Yeah, but you should by rights, yeah, but it doesn't work
Well,
that
I
way.
mean, no, it's not my cup of tea, but here we go.
Didn't Rolling Stone back in the day? Didn't they like always write shit about Sabbath? And then
Nobody ever wrote. We never got good reviews on our album.
Sabbath's first review was about 6 or 8 lines, and it just said how terrible this album is.
But then
and it will never write. They'll never write another album.
But then didn't years later Rolling Stone issued an apology for the first review of the Sabbath album?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, at least they owned it, you know, like, hey, we fucked up.
But something you'd read the reviews and you'd think, I'd go, it didn't sound like they reviewed our album.
Yeah.
Track 3, track by track, you go, nothing like that. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you guys met people that you think, oh, I'm going to really dislike this person?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, wow, they're actually really cool.
Yeah. I've often had the opposite, to where I'm excited to meet someone and I got disappointed.
Yeah.
Anyone that I'm a fan of, I won't meet anymore. Like,
the thing is, in my experience, I build up in my imagination what I think they're like, and it's sad because I'm somewhat disappointed when I meet them. I go, oh fuck.
Yeah, like I don't, you know, like I've said this, like I listen to Joe Rogan a lot. I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast. Like I listen to it every time he's got an episode out. I don't think I would, like, not that he probably would ever have me on, but like I don't think I would ever go on the podcast because I don't want to ruin that. Like I get so much joy out of that.
He seems a pretty fair guy, though.
Yeah.
He seems a pretty.
Yeah, like I would, but I don't know. I'm like, don't meet the people you like. It's always a disappointment. Who's been like the celebrity disappointment?
Disappointment. I was just thinking about the people that I've met that I was like, you're everything and more that I wanted you to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never really had that.
Madonna was that for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Disappointed?
No. Opposite. She was like everything and more that I was like, it's Madonna. Oh. Like it, you know, because I worked for her for a few years for Material Girl.
Yeah.
And I had quite a lot of interaction with her and her daughter Lola, who is just, I think she's incredible.
How many kids has she got now?
Ooh, a lot. I think it's like 5.
No. She adopted 3.
3, and she had
has
2
of
so
her
I think it's
own.
5, yeah. But yeah, she was everything and more. Like I got to see the bitchy side, the mothering side, all of it. It was amazing, and I was taken aback by it. It's, for me, sometimes it's the people that you think are going to be really funny and like have a great sense of humor, and then you meet them and you're like, oh my God, there is 0 giggles in you.
You hung out with Chappelle a few times.
He was everything and more.
I've always wanted to meet Dave Chappelle, and I know you
met him.
Yeah.
I had dinner with him.
I've never met Dave.
Every time I'm anywhere where he is, he always sends over like a glass of champagne, or like when I drank or something. Like he is the nicest, coolest guy ever.
I think he's the best comedian out there.
Yeah. I think he like transcends comedian. He's like like back in the day, there would be like these great thinkers that would just share their thoughts with people. Like he's up there with like he's more of like a philosopher.
He's not in my book. He's where what's his name?
Richard Pryor.
He's like better than Richard Pryor. And I thought in his day, Richard Pryor was great, but Dave Chappelle is just as good, if not better.
Yeah. About you, who's been your favorite meet? You got to meet some amazing people doing your old show.
Oh my God, did I ever? I mean, just the most incredible people. Well, Jason Momoa is quite fabulous.
Jason Momoa, Aquaman.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Oh,
He's the actor, the Hawaiian guy. He did your music video. He's in every.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's lovely. Very, very nice. Natural. He's just a natural guy.
A big guy.
You know? Yeah. He's
Long
fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course, Liza Minnelli.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Meeting Liza Minnelli was just incredible at the Hollywood Bowl, and then with the few things that I did with her for Mac.
Yeah, I did the Raw Variety with her, and she's just amazing. Just amazing.
Who is it that you always tell the story? It was Elizabeth Taylor. When you met Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, that was when I
was met her too.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I'll never forget it. Because you're impressionable when you're like 5 or 6 years old. My dad said to me, one Christmas Eve, my dad says to me, you can stay up late tonight because I'm going to show you the most beautiful woman in the world. Now, I took that literally. I thought, I'm going to see the most beautiful woman in the world, thinking that I was going to see the most beautiful woman in the world. And I was so, and it was Elizabeth Taylor. I was like, wow. I was I was there seeing. And it was amazing when she was sitting next to her. And I just went back to that. I was like, fuck me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine, I bet in a million years your dad probably never thought.
That she'd be in our house.
It's sitting next to Dad on the couch.
It was for me. I thought of my dad. I thought, fuck, what would you be?
Yeah.
If he was here to see this.
You met her at the Betty Ford Centre because she was there
I
giving
never
a lecture.
met her. I was at the Betty Ford and she came. I made a speech to the whole fucking place.
No, he's talking about how we were at the house when we did when you had your cancer and foundation thing. So we had Mum was hosting a charity event at our old house, and Elizabeth Taylor came as a guest.
There was like loud. George Lucas was there.
No, but that was
Tony Bennett.
Yeah, Tony Bennett was there. Wow, think about the people that were there that are no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, next door neighbour, kumbaya around my mum complains to him. She goes, well, you control. We had to listen to Elton John and his band the other day.
You're like, oh, sorry. Sorry you got to listen to a private show. That's what I've always kind of, like you said, the experiences of like
when we went to Windsor Castle for Beatrice's 18th birthday. Yeah. And that was really surreal and crazy. And I remember me and Jack, because I'd never been to a royal event before. I didn't understand the concept of the seating plans and how they separate you to get you to talk to each other. And when me and Jack saw that we weren't sitting next to each other, we both looked at each other like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, that's the thing that I've enjoyed. Like, it's funny. Like, what we do, like what I do, I'm not my job. You know, I do TV, I do what I do just because it's like, okay, this is a means to like making money and like providing for my kids. Like I'm not one of these people that is like, oh, you know, I am a TV host. I'm
an artiste.
Yeah, I'm just like, for me, it's just a job. And so I never really look at it. And I think I've always looked at it like doing what I do is, yes, there is a level of fame that's associated with it, but I always just see it as a byproduct. Yeah. Of like, this is a result of the job that I'm in.
Actually, Billy Bob Thorton is a really nice guy.
He's a gent.
Lovely
He's
guy.
A lovely guy. Really, really great guy.
And Nicolas, we went to Nicolas Cage's about that.
Yeah.
And there was that guy's no longer with us.
John Hurt.
Yeah. He was nice. Lovely.
He was great.
Yeah.
So was what's his name? The comedian guy who's
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey was a lovely man.
You know who I actually really enjoyed? I had a couple really awesome interactions with was Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I've
always meant to pop around and see him.
You should.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about all the celebrities, that I tell you who I was like so surprised at how cool she was Julia Roberts.
I've heard that.
She was so cool. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but she caught me doing something in the bathroom and she like laughed at me along like, it wasn't drugs or anything like that, Mom. It was like I was just being stupid in the mirror and she caught me and then mimicked me. And I just remember thinking, wow, you're actually really cool.
Yeah.
I remember standing next to you somewhere and she was walking walking away from it. And she stopped, she was looking at me. Who the fuck is that?
I remember when Beyonce said I was handsome.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, at the Grammys. She's like, oh, you're very handsome. And I was like, oh really?
She's divine. She's a nice lady.
Yeah, her and Jay-Z were very, very nice when we...
She really had my back one time. I'm not going into it, but she defended me on something one time. And I was like, I will never forget that.
Yeah, they're very classy people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you who else is really funny. she's got a great sense of humor, is Mariah.
Yeah.
She's wickedly funny.
Wait, oh no, you got to tell the fucking Whitney Houston story.
Oh.
When you gave her your ring.
Oh my
It was so
God.
funny. So funny.
I've
never seen Mum's face.
Well,
Just
but
drop.
when we were doing Dancing with the Stars, I had no idea your mother knew her. And she came down the middle of the dance floor and she stopped and she looked at me in my direction. I didn't realise she was looking at me. I'm thinking, she goes, I'm thinking, oh my God, what the fuck have I done? Trying to think, have I met this woman before? Have I fucking done something to her? And she walks through, I'm thinking, oh no, I'm fucking dead. I'm dead. And she goes, says to your mum, and I said to your mum, you never told me you knew Whitney Houston. She goes,
Oh, yes.
Your mum says, you never asked.
Wait, yeah, no, you got to tell that story.
Okay, I was hosting the Divas for
Yeah.
VH1, and I was at sound check, and Whitney was up on stage doing her sound check, and her little girl obviously liked watching the Osbournes, and she came up
Bobby
and
Christina.
sat next to me, gorgeous little thing. And then suddenly her dad came and sat the other side of me, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And Whitney's up there singing, and then she stops singing, and the track's still going. And so, slowly the track stops, and she goes, Mrs. Osbourne. I'm like, are you trying to fuck my husband? I'm like, no, please, I'm not. I went running down the aisle, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. No, I wasn't. She goes, let me see that ring. And she looks at the ring. I said, I'd love you to have it. I gave her the ring. Anything.
I remember the
Shoot.
ring. It was this huge square
Yeah,
of
it
just
was.
pave diamonds.
And so I gave her the ring, threw it at her. I said, I promise you, I'm not interested in your husband. I'm married. And then she goes, all right then, okay. And then she came back and spoke to me. I went back to sit next to her daughter, and she goes, we have dentist appointments. We've got to go. I said, oh, well, the show's in 2 hours. She said, no, the dentist's here in my dressing room.
Dr. Feelgood dentist.
And then after that, we'd see each other, and she was just, very nice lady.
It's pretty cool, though, that you got to watch Whitney Houston do a sound check.
Well, Dancing with the Stars, when you did that, she was...
She wasn't on when I was. It was Kelly's year.
my year. And
It was sad, wasn't it?
she was always so nice to me whenever I saw her.
Lovely lady. Lovely.
So nice.
Tortured
And
soul.
funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Bette Midler, remember Bette Midler? My birthday in Vegas.
Listen, Bette Midler found one of our dogs and called that she had one of our dogs.
How?
She used to live behind us on Doheny.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and she called and said she'd got our dog, and she's just lovely neighbor.
Yeah, she was
But
awesome.
give me a... She called me backstage. I went to see her. She had a birthday cake and candles. I'm like, fucking hell.
His 60th birthday.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
In Vegas.
Yeah.
With the Caesar salad girls.
What are the Caesar salad? What was that?
That was what her backing dancers were called.
The Caesar salad girls?
Yeah, because it was at Caesar's Palace.
She's
And it was
fabulous.
the Caesar salad girls.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Just
great.
fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You guys have met some pretty fucking cool people. I don't really know anyone, though.
Well...
You always say that, but you know everyone.
I'll tell you a story about Bette Midler. Your mother and I weren't an item at that point. We went to see her perform, and I got fucking dumped. Was it Bette Midler? And Elton John showed.
No, we'd go and see Bette Midler at the Greek Theatre.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, it was Universal.
It wasn't a Bette Midler. It was Elton John, and you and Belle dumped me.
No, when we went to see
Universal Amphitheatre.
Yeah, before the roof was on. And there was me, my friend Belle,
Gary Moore,
and
Beans.
and Ozzy. And we arrive late. right? And Gary Moore, you know, was a punk, so he's dressed as a punk. Ozzy's dressed as a rocker. So we go in, and Bette is singing, and we are right in the front row. And we are like, oh, no. And she's singing, and we're trying to get to our seat. So we're like this, trying to get to the seat. Excuse me. And she goes, stop the music. And you go, oh,
So, do you want me to start again? We'll start again because these people have held the show.
No, she goes, there's always one fucker that arrives late.
Did she know it was Dad and Gary Moore?
She wouldn't have known Gary, but she would have known Dad then. Yeah. And she went, there's always one fucker that's late at every show, and I've got 4 of them right here. And you go, oh, beam me up, Scotty. And then Ozzy goes, she's not going to ask me to sing with her, is she? I said, oh, fuck off.
That's funny. That's very
But she's brilliant. Just brilliant one-liners.
Do you guys ever wear a disguise when you go out?
No.
I know you don't, because when we were doing World Detour, you insisted on going everywhere, even those shitty airports in the middle of nowhere. You'd be like, no, I'm Ozzy Osbourne. I have to be Ozzy Osbourne everywhere. And I'm like, put a fucking hoodie on and a baseball hat, and we'll sail through.
I didn't want to be Ozzy Osbourne. I just wanted to
Dad just being himself.
No, I know.
But my favorite is when Dad does things that I think is really cute. Like we'll walk out somewhere. He goes, I can't wear my jewelry. And I'll be like, okay, why? And he'll say, well, they'll know it's me. And I'm like, I think they already know it's you.
I don't think it's the jewelry that's the giveaway.
But it's little things like that. And I think that just goes to show how Dad doesn't walk around this planet thinking that he is one of the most recognizable humans to ever have been on it.
A goal watch. It's harmless.
Yeah.
So just take your arm.
It's true. Do you get recognized often?
Yeah.
I never do.
Why, Jack? I've got purple hair.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's not. It's like.
Yeah.
It's a bit. You can't really miss me.
Yeah. Jack, just dye your hair purple.
Do you get people coming up to you a lot?
Sometimes.
I usually get cops.
More often at home and in New York somehow.
Yeah. I never. Actually, today was the first time in probably months and months, like maybe a year. I was walking into 7-Eleven this morning to grab a drink, and this guy was walking out. He's like, hey, did I see, are you Jack? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I saw you in that Special Forces show.
I remember one guy going to rehearsals in the Valley. I go to my old guy Tony. I said, stop here at 7-Eleven. I want to get a packet of smokes. So I go in, and there's a cop crouched down with his gun out, and he goes, get it, get out of the way. And I only walked in with a stakeout. so the cop goes, get out behind me. And he stops and he goes, hey, you're Ozzy.
In the middle of a shootout. It's like something out of like an old Western.
It was all around.
That's typical Ozzy to walk in at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mr. Magoo.
Stop here, there's not many people in there. I'll get served. So. Get it in the back of the show.
Everyone's dead inside. You're just like...
Some dead bodies hanging out.
What is this live show you're doing? Because I didn't hear anything of it, and then I see something online.
Okay, what it is, it's called Cut the Crap. And it's a show I'm doing in theatres. And it's in London, and it starts mid-January. I'm only doing a couple of them. And I'm doing one in Birmingham and a couple in London, that's all.
Cool.
And
so what is it, though?
Well, yeah, what is it?
Okay, it's Kate Thornton. You remember my mate, Kate Thornton? She's going to be the moderator. She's going to interview me, and then I'm going to take questions from the
Oh, so it's kind of like a live podcast kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's not, because when I read the description, I thought, oh, is this like another vagina monologues thing you're doing?
No, that, I mean, there's going to be questions that she's going to ask me, but I don't know what she's going to ask me, Kate. But she is going to ask me a lot of questions about my life and then answer them and then do a Q&A.
About how you're just a massive racist.
Oh, for God's sake, Jack. Oh, God. Give me a break, someone. Nearly 3 years.
No, I
I'm
know.
still.
You just gotta laugh at it.
What?
You just have to laugh at it.
I know.
Kelly, any plans for your birthday?
Absolutely none.
Could you put your birthday hat on now?
Yes,
yeah,
I
put
will.
your little birthday hat on.
Happy birthday to you.
If I can get it on.
There you go.
Oh, it's so cute.
Happy birthday.
What am I doing? Well, it's the last year of my 30s.
Yeah.
It's like
Which
that
is
meme I sent you.
terrifying.
That guy's name was
asshole.
Jolly, something Jolly.
It wasn't Dom Joly. Well, we're talking about Kelly's birthday.
I'm still trying to think of that fucking guy's name.
My team and I are all going to dinner tomorrow. And then
What do you want to accomplish in your last year of being
last
in
year
your
of
30s?
39, probably I might. No.
What?
Have another baby.
No, I'm going to do that when in my 40s.
Why wait?
Why wait? Because I want a baby in the house for as long as possible.
That's
Well,
why you have
two.
more.
Have two babies. You don't want to wait. Do it now.
Just knock it out. Trust. Just do it.
Just do
Really?
it.
It's much
yeah,
easier having
really.
closer
Still
in
a birth
age.
of sin.
Because here's the thing. Here's what I will tell you. It's better to have them closer in age because you're gonna like get used to like a whole routine with like Sid as like a toddler and as being a little young dude, and then all of a sudden you're gonna inject a baby and it's gonna throw it all on the head, and it's just a lot. So if you just kind of go, all right, he's still a baby. I'll have another baby while he's a baby. So I'm just dealing with two babies. Better
Definitely.
than yeah.
Well, anyways, I don't really care about my birthday anymore because I have Sydney's birthday to plan, and it's his first birthday, less than a week after mine.
Yay.
And
2 days before mine. Now I
Yeah.
get a get out of jail free card for my birthday for the rest of my life.
so I've been planning his birthday party,
Don't like
and we did the
Christmas,
last
don't
run
like
through.
birthdays.
Because you're Scrooge. You fucking hate Christmas.
I fucking
But if
hate
you forget Dad on Christmas, he remembers.
He does.
But yeah, I've been planning baby Sydney's birthday, and
Who are the performers?
the Beat Buds.
Yeah, I know those guys. Yeah,
The the Beat Buds, and we have instead of doing the animals this year, I did something that I think they're gonna like more.
What is it?
I have a slime station.
Oh,
Where you can make
well,
your
we
own
know
slime.
Andy's
Andy's
gonna
be up in there,
love
like,
that.
fucking- yeah.
So I think that they'll be excited for that.
Cool.
The first thing that all the parents asked me when I told them that I was planning Sydney's birthday party was, "Is there going to be a bar?"
No.
Yeah, but it's Sid.
Fucking.
It's Sid's birthday, not fucking your birthday.
No, but it's just as much for the parents too.
No. You say no. You say some.
You know what? What I do?
You see, it's like having. I could never understand why I sold beer at Chuck E. Cheese. I
agree. But what I always do is I just get some beer, some wine, and you just
That's-
leave it off to the side.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Bring
what
your own.
that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
if you want a
And
drink, bring your
Mum
own.
So it's
doesn't-
not an open bar.
No.
Okay, because when we say bar, I always think of just like
No,
you know,
it's like
Get some fucking-
anyone
it's
for
a-
cocktails.
It's a guy who there's like two drinks that are pre-designed, and it's a
Get-
guy just making the two
Get
drinks,
the-
and they're like mocktails that
No, just
have smoke coming out of them, and like
That's an no, just literally get a fucking 6-pack of Corona and a 6-pack of fucking White Claw, and you'll be good.
What is it with this fucking White Claw
Hey,
shit?
there's no law when you're down with the claw, okay?
Okay.
I think it tastes like poison.
Because it is. No, I wouldn't get a bar. It's just a way. I mean,
No, it's not a bar. It's literally like a pre-designed drink that
But why
smokes.
bother?
Dad, would you mind waking up?
I was trying to think of that fucking guy's name.
Oh, okay.
I've got it on the tip of my tongue as well.
Come
What
on.
is his name?
Are you thinking about the guy with the red hair who's our friend?
No, the guy who was that, Joan, you look like $1 million later. It's like a name that could be so.
Dennis
Dennis the
Pennis.
Penis.
Dennis Pennis.
Dennis?
Pennis.
Dennis Pennis. Yeah, I remember him.
Dennis Pennis.
All right, well,
Let's go.
let's wrap it up. You want to say goodbye?
I'm so. I'm so glad we got the name. It's been fucking drooling on.
Dennis motherfucking
Dad's
Pennis.
been quiet for the
What
entire
happened to
podcast
him?
because he's been trying to figure out the name.
What happened to him? He got shoved up somebody's ass.
We will find out what
We
happened
will
to Dennis Pennis.
research it.
I spoke to his member.
Oh God. All right. Well, that's the show. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
See you
Bye,
soon,
bye.
guys.